This is Lesson 103, Saxon's 3rd edition, Algebra 1, and this lesson is more on rational equations. More meaning that we started this in Lesson 78, and in Lesson 78 we talked about how in rational equations where all the denominators are integers, the first thing we need to do is to find the least common multiple, like we do when we're adding and subtracting any fraction. And then since every one of these is going to be a factor of our least common multiple, we can actually simplify and get rid of these. And this is how we're going to do that. Once we've determined what the least common multiple is, in this case it is 12, then we're going to multiply every term by 12 and simplify it. In this case, 2 becomes a 1 and 12 becomes a 6 because 2 goes into 12 6 times. And then we multiply 6 times y to get 6y. The second term, we have 12 here and 4. 4 will go into 12 3 times, so that becomes a 3. And 3 times 1 is 3. And then on the right-hand side, after the equal, we have 12, and then we have 6. The 6 will cancel out, and it will go into 12 2 times, so then we have 2y. Now we have this into something that appears much more manageable and much more familiar to you. We have 6y plus 3 equals 2y. We simply need to move this 6y so that we get it on the other side with the other y term. So we'll subtract it from both sides, and we're left with 3 equals negative 4y. We're going to divide by negative 4, so y will be by itself. And when we do, we see that y is equal to negative 3/4. Very simple. In this example, we have our least common multiple is 3t. Alright, so when we multiply every term by 3t, here, this t and this t are going to cancel out. We multiply 3 times what we have left. 3 times t is 3t. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Here, these are both going to cancel out, leaving us with only 14. And then minus, when we multiply here, the 3's are going to cancel out, and t times 1 is t. So we have 3t minus 6 equals 14 minus t. Let's move this t and get it over here with the other t's. So we'll add t to both sides, and we get 4t minus 6 equals 14. Now let's move our negative 6 by adding 6, and we get, these are gone, 4t equals 20. Divide by 4 to get t by itself, and t then is equal to 5. Isn't that easy? Hardest part, I guess, would be in finding the least common multiple, making sure that's right, and then multiplying every single term by that and cross-canceling. Alright, in this case, our least common multiple is this and this. So we have to include both in the least common multiple, so we'll multiply every term by both of those. When we do, we see that this and this cancel each other out, leaving us with 5 times n, or 5n. Here, the two 5's are going to cancel out, leaving us with n plus 2 times 3. And using our distributive property, we know that 3 times n is 3n, and 3 times 2 is 6. But we put negative because this was a negative term to start with, so it's going to be minus 3n minus 6. And then we know that anything times 0 is going to be still 0. Now here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see we've got two like terms that can be combined. 5n minus 3n is 2n. 2n minus 6 is 0. Let's move that 6 to the other side, and we see that 2n is equal to 6. Then we we divide both sides by 2 and find that n is equal to 3. Now you can always go back and check your solutions by putting the 3 in like everywhere you see the n and making sure that it works out mathematically. In this example, our least common multiple, again, is both of these terms. So we have to multiply everything by both of these terms. When we do, in this case, 3n cancels out, and we'll multiply 2 times n plus 4, which gives us 2n plus 8. Here, this and this are going to cancel out, leaving us 2 times 3n, which is 6n, but we've got this minus here, so we bring it down. And then again, anything times 0 is 0. So we have, again, like terms we can combine. 2n minus 6n is negative 4n plus 8 equals 0. Move the 8 by subtracting 8 on both sides, and we have negative 4n equals negative 8. Divide both sides by negative 4, and we see that n is equal to 2. Alright, let's do our practice problems. So in this one, I've already gotten for you your LCM, which is t times t minus 3, because we had to represent both of these. So we multiply every single term, every single original term, by our least common multiple. Here, these two are going to cancel out, and when I multiply 5t minus 15, here, these two cancel out, leaving us 2 times t, so minus 2t, equals 0. Now I've got these two like terms I can combine. 5 minus 2 is 3t, minus 15 equals 0. Add 15 to both sides. 3t is equal to 15. Dividing by 3 on both sides, I find that t is equal to 5. Wasn't that easy? Alright, let's do the next one. Alright, on this one, I haven't figured out the LCM for you. I want you to take a minute and try to figure out what it is. Okay, did you get it? The LCM is y minus 3, because both of these terms have to be represented in our least common multiple. So we're going to multiply every one of these three terms by our least common multiple, y minus 3 times 8 over y plus y minus 3 times 5 over y minus 3 equals y minus 3 times 0. Alright, when I start my cross canceling, I'm going to find this and this cancel out, and 8 is going to multiply by both of these, so I have 8y minus 24. This and this are canceling out, leaving me with plus 5y, and then equals 0. Now here I have like terms. 8y plus 5y is 13y minus 24 equals 0. I'm going to add 24 to both sides. 13y equals 24. Divide both sides by 13, and y equals 24 over 13. And we're just going to leave it like that, okay? Good job. This is not difficult. You're going to do great with it. Take it one step at a time. I'll see you next time for Lesson 104.